So I'm using the Pomodoro method for my piano practice, and I'm currently working on Amy Beach's Ballad Opus number 6. I did one part already where I recorded page number 4, where towards the end of the page where there are double bar lines, into page number 5, halfway through it where the double bar lines end. Um, I am going to work on a new section now. Um, in the first Pomodoro, I also got time to move into the following section, page 5 from the double bar lines onwards. I did a little bit of just working on the melody, in the sense playing the melody note to kind of tell myself that this is the tune that needs to stand out. There are a bunch of notes that are played at the same time in both hands, and so it can be quite confusing to remember that there's one note that contributes to the melody and everything else is the accompaniment. Um, so I'm going to work on that section now. I'm going to try playing it slowly because to build musical ability, playing it slowly is best. And yeah, if there are any concerns that I have which I feel like I can't iron out within this practice session, I will take it for the following day's practice. So now I also do need to set my alarm to make sure that I'm working on this piece for 25 minutes. So I begin with the section. What I'm going to do first again is just play the left hand, because that's the hand which has the melody. And then I'm going to try and make sure that the melody note is accented at every point that it comes. And then the melody goes into the right hand. So sorry, I played the wrong section. I went to the coda section. So I'm going to play again from the last part of page 5. Okay, so page 6 onwards until the double bar lines, I don't know what to call it in technical terms, but it's basically almost like a conclusion or kind of a transition section into the next significant section of the piece. So I don't have any real melody note that needs to be brought out at every point. It's kind of like what I'm calling the melody line actually is like a motif that repeats multiple times through the piece. So in this at this point, I feel like naturally whatever melody is coming out is all right, and nothing really needs to stand out more than the rest. So I'm just going to work on page 5 from beginning to end. Sorry, beginning as in beginning of the section that I chose to do till the end of the page. Just the left hand again, and then I'm going to incorporate the right hand. Okay, without thinking, I went into the next page. I kind of just lost focus for a second. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the section which I'm working on, um, this time with the right hand. Okay, it's sounding quite good to me right now at the level it is. I'm probably going to try it one or two more times and then record myself and see how it sounds. right from the beginning to the end of the section, including the two lines on page number 6. Now I'll listen to the recording and see if there are any changes that I'd like to incorporate in this section. Okay, so right from the start, when I start listening to the recording, I feel like my rubato is not very good. I could incorporate a lot more rubato in this section. It's sounding a little too metronomical. Um, Also, I feel like it sounds a little fast. Now I need to check whether it truly is fast or whether a personal preference of mine would be for it to be a little slower. Of course, if it's a personal preference but it's not marked in the score, if this is the actual tempo at which I need to play it, I will play it. But personally, I prefer it to be a little slower, so I'm going to double check the tempo and make sure that I'm playing it at the right speed. Okay, the tempo did seem right, but the recording I'm referring to, which is Cara Huber's recording of the piece, she does incorporate a lot of rubato, which gives the overall illusion that the melody is kind of moving fairly slowly. Um, it's something I could try doing. Of course, I can't verbally explain what's happening, but I would like to incorporate the same effect. Um, so let me give it a try again, and this time with a little more musicality. Okay, I stopped in between the practice of the round because I thought about something. Rubato basically means you increase tempo and decrease tempo at various points. So, although I did say earlier that I'm playing everything quite metronomically and quite on the beat, I am going to practice a section with the metronome just to see that I can get it, push the tempo up a little bit. Because if I'm going to be slowing it down at certain points, then I also will be speeding it up at other points just to make sure that the rubato effect doesn't slow the entire piece down. Also, another benefit of practicing slowly with the metronome is you build a lot more clarity. Your fingers move into notes a lot better, and so you kind of gain a lot more control when you're trying to play a certain way. Okay, that was not bad. I have about 3 minutes left for my Pomodoro session to complete. So I could give it another try and maybe record it, but I may not have enough time to correct anything from the recording, incorporate any changes that I'd like after listening to the recording. So let me just record it and play it back to myself. So my alarm rang, which signals the end of my Pomodoro session. Um, I could just continue with this section into my next Pomodoro, or I could leave this here and revisit it another time. So often, what happens when you leave something, when you work on something to a certain extent and then come back to it later on, it kind of automatically gets better than the time when you revisit it. I'm not sure why that happens. Something. It's happened with me very often. So rather than overthinking a section and working on it for too long and feeling like I'm not making progress, you just leave it be and come back to it later. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna leave it here for now because it is quite a long piece and I'd like to do a little more from this piece. So I might do another section for now and then come back to this later.